Alright, what should we do for the thumbie?
Okay, I was also thinking about this on the way over. I was thinking one could, one could be the Beast and one could be, like, reading a book or something.
Oh, cute. I'll be the Beast.
Okay.
Why? Do you want to be the Beast?
Oh, no.
You seem kind of heartbroken that you want the Beast.
I want you to be Belle.
You want me to be Belle?
Yeah.
I need a book. Welcome back to Ever Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Ever Disney Movie Ever. Today we have Audrey!
Hi guys! Yay! I'm here!
So we're going to be talking about Beauty and the Beast.
Heck yeah.
Once again. This is the last one for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Beauty and the Beast is a 2017 theatrical release about Belle longing for belonging and knowledge and how she finds it in a cursed beast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's directed by Bill Condon, cinematography by Tobias A Schliessler, editing by Virginia Katz, music by Alan Menken, and it's written by Stephen Chbosky and Evan Spiliotopoulos. The film stars Emma Watson as Belle, Dan Stevens as Beast, Luke Evans as Gaston, Josh Gad as LeFou, Kevin Kline as Maurice, Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, and Ian McKellen as Cogsworth. Disney had attempted to make a live-action version of the 1994 Broadway musical, which I would have died for. I would have died for that. But then in 2011, Alan Menken said it was canned. Like, they trashed it.
Bummer.
But in April of 2014, they started a live-action version development after they started working on all the others. And then in June of 2014, Bill Condon signed on to direct. And then they kind of originally wanted to go the way of, like, Snow White and the Huntsman, which is not a Disney movie, but, like, we've all seen it. Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron. But the success of Frozen actually pushed them back into full musical, and then the original script had Gaston getting cursed by the Enchantress at the end instead of dying. And then in 2015 of January, Emma Watson was announced as Belle, and she was ever the only choice.
Filming began on May 18th, 2015 in different locations in England and France. Stevens actually learned how to waltz on stilts, and he practiced a lot so he wouldn't step on Emma Watson. And originally they were going to use all Broadway musicals, or Broadway music from the Broadway show, and they actually ended up just writing 4 new pieces entirely, and only used one song from the Broadway musical, which was Home, and it wasn't even the song, it was instrumental.
The film had a pretty wide budget, $160 million to $255 million, it's a little unclear. But made $1.266 billion in the box office, so they did fine. It's got a 71% Rotten Tomatoes consensus, with an enchanting cast, beautifully crafted songs, and a painterly eye for detail. Beauty and the Beast offers a faithful yet fresh retelling that honors its beloved source material. It was nominated for Best Costume and a Production Design, and it didn't win.
Really?
As I'm sure a lot of you know, LeFou dances with Gaston's friend Stanley at the end of the film. People lost their dang minds about it.
Yeah,
naturally, of course.
It was a different time back then.
Sorry. Bill Condon got, like, sick of people being mad about it. Other countries insisted that 3-second clip be cut out to air in their country. Also received criticism on the other end from the LGBTQ community, saying that LeFou's portrayal was teasing of representation, and then the exclusively gay moment was 3 seconds. So they got criticism on both ends, saying, like, you chickened out of representation, and then on the other end, like, we don't want to see this, homophobia. So it was really all over the place. And then there was a long and big discussion about Belle and the Stockholm Syndrome argument. Emma studied what Stockholm Syndrome was about and said she really doesn't think so at Belle's core. The filmmakers agreed. Then they brought in a psychiatrist who also said he doesn't think Belle exhibits the signs of Stockholm Syndrome. However, the psychiatrist said it does exhibit abusive and toxic traits, which is hilarious.
That checks out. So there was a lawsuit, actually, surrounding this movie, and a jury found that Disney was guilty of using the Reardon LLC's MOVA Contour software specifically for Beast without their permission, and Disney ended up actually paying $600,000 in damages to this company. There was supposed to be a spin-off series for Disney Plus surrounding LeFou's and Gaston's relationship, but In 2024, Luke Evans actually said that it's no longer on the table and that there's no other discussions about it.
It's pretty. It's pretty to look at, but some of it feels very fake.
Yeah.
It's a lot of VFX.
Yeah.
Your face. Yeah. It was very VFX. Like, I wish there had been a lot more practical.
I think you're capturing what I initially thought, and I don't know if this falls into the cinematography realm. It's sort of like the overarching for me is like the style of everything, right? With sets, like everything. It was very stylized in a particular way, and I just wasn't a fan of that style.
Yeah, my complaint is everything looks really digital and fake.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Beast too. Like,
picture, everybody picture.
Close your eyes.
The Beauty and the Beast ballroom scene, the Cinderella ballroom scene. You want to know the biggest difference? The Cinderella ballroom scene was completely real. Everybody was in costumes. That ballroom was built. Those were real candles that were lit. Everything's real. It feels so magical and beautiful, but it doesn't feel fake. I get that the Beast has to be digital.
Sure.
So, like, they probably had to have a lot of other stuff that was digital, but it just, like, everything feels real fake in this movie, which is a big bummer.
Yeah.
Because it's Beauty and the Beast.
The one piece that I did, like, one set piece that I did feel like was more authentic was, like, the outside facade of the castle.
Yeah.
With the mob scene going up, like, that I was
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, that's a set. But, yeah, I could totally see
Yeah.
everything
100%.
else not real.
I feel like the only place in the castle that felt like genuinely could have been real was the library.
Yeah.
But
also, that was, like, the cutest scene, too, with Emma's reaction.
That is cute.
So cute.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of it feels so fake.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Emma Watson grew up on the Harry Potter sets, where, like, a lot of that was fake, and I bought everything, and in this one I'm a little bit like...
Right.
I
it takes you out of it, for sure.
Yeah. It feels too, like, I don't know, too digitally. It's too long.
I mean, I think that's my biggest thing, is that it was way too long. Like, there was one instance, like, I lost interest when, like, Bella first runs away and the wolves. Like, I caught myself, like, checking my phone.
Oh, wow.
During that sequence.
Sure.
And I think partially it's because, like, if you've seen the original, you know generally what's going to happen. I'm like, okay, I know she's going to be fine. I know the Beast is going to come out, you know, like, but subconsciously, like, I'm like, I'll just check my phone really quick or whatever. But there were some instances, too, that I felt were pretty long. But there were some instances, too, that I kind of liked, in a way. But so, going to France.
Yeah.
Or Paris, I should say.
Sure.
During the plague. Like, I like the
well, it was
idea.
present day. They realized it was the plague that killed her mom. But it was present day when they went. Like, their present day.
Oh! Right.
They didn't go back in time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, that I feel like was kind of a stretch moment. Like, they didn't need to do that whole sequence. Like, I think if there was some other... But I like the idea of getting her backstory, right? Like, and I appreciate hearing about the mom and how that fit in. And, like, also, it really, like, solidifies, like, the connection between Maurice and Belle and, like, shows that relationship really nicely, which I think doesn't really hit on with the original. But, like, that whole idea of being transported to it wasn't entirely necessary. I think they could have approached it a different way.
Oh yeah, I have thoughts. But yeah, edit-wise, it's just which will tie in with the writing for me, but like the movie is 90 minutes. Like the original movie is an hour and 27 minutes. So it's it's 87 minutes or whatever that is. And this movie is 2 hours and 21 minutes. And they add, like, barely anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel necessary and makes, like, it feels a little plotless, which is insane because they added stuff to it. But I digress. The editing, it's fine. It's too long. Oh, buddy. Don't get me started on this. Go.
I wrote down somewhere, I wish everybody was just a little bit better at singing. Except Josh Gad. Asterix. Josh Gad. But, although, Josh Gad can sing. When he can sing, he can sing. Mm-hmm. But, like,
everyone in this movie was really on Broadway? Josh Gad.
Right. But also, though, I feel like they did it injustice.
Audra McDonald.
Oh, yeah. She was a wardrobe lady, right? Yeah. Love her.
Of course.
So those are my little asterisks. I think, though, Josh Gad was robbed of, like, really, really singing LeFou. Like, he could have, like, I think he was so caught up in the character of LeFou and being, like, over the top and all of that, and, like, I feel like his vocal ability really didn't shine in this, but, like, Beast can't sing. Emma Watson.
Dan Stevens can sing, but they put a beast modulation on his voice to make him sound like a monster, and it's awful.
I didn't know that.
It's over. My biggest complaint is the music is overproduced. They all sound fake, pop, auto-tune, not in their environment at all. It sounds... Don't get me frickin' started on Emma Watson. Ugh! But Dan Stevens, they put like a beast modulation on him, which is what, like, it's like
maybe
his
that's
whole voice is all like mechanically beastie.
Yeah.
Which
Even
is
when
what
he
makes
was
him sound
singing
like that.
Evermore?
100%.
That's
He's all like grovelly.
ridiculous.
I used to think, and it's like all Chbosky.
Yeah.
Because they put some kind of vocal.
I'm not okay with that, Disney. Like,
they didn't do that to Robbie.
Yeah.
In the original, well, he didn't have a song, but his voice was his, like, the Beast's voice was his voice. He just sounded like, go ahead and stop!
Yeah.
He didn't do anything, he just screamed that.
Right, yeah.
So, don't get me started on the music. Okay, the first time I saw it, I've seen this all the way through one other time, and it was in theaters.
Same.
And then I've seen, like, pieces of it. In the theater, I will never forget going in and being like, heck yeah, BWBS, I'm excited. Emma Watson is Belle, I'm excited, let's do this. Movie opens. We have the opening number, and I'm like, okay.
You talking the overture or Belle?
Belle.
Okay.
Definitely not the prologue. Prologue's great. Prologue's always my favorite from BWBS.
Oh, yeah. It was, Alan Menken. We stand.
And Howard Hackman. Rest in peace. And Tim Rice now.
Yes.
Anyway. Belle starts singing. The way I went and saw this with Sammy and Alexa, the way I looked at them and went, oh no. She said, like, it took me out of the movie. It made me immediately hate it. Like, I was like, I hate it right away. Because she's, like, so auto-tuned. It's all you can pay attention to.
It's bad.
And I was sitting there like, let her voice suck. Like, let her be fragile.
Right.
Belle's not a singer then. Like, or don't cast Emma Watson. But Emma Watson, I get it. She's the perfect Belle. She fits the role. She's good at that.
Right.
But, like, let her voice be fragile. Let her not hit every note. Or don't auto-tune it that badly. It sounded so fake. It completely took me out of the movie and continued to do so anytime she sang.
Yeah.
And then, funnily enough, the only people I enjoyed singing, besides, like, Audra McDonald, were Josh Gad and Luke Evans. Luke Evans, while ridiculous, totally fit his character, and he did not sound as fake as Beast or Belle.
Right.
And then Josh Gad is Josh Gad.
Yeah.
And, like, he was being silly, and that's fine. I had no problem. As long as he was selling it.
Oh, yeah.
Emma Watson
was selling it.
It was so overly produced that I was like, get me out of here. And then I hate Evermore. I think it's garbage. I think it's a terrible song. They had a perfect song in the Broadway musical that the Beast sings that is so stunning. And they didn't opt for that. They did Evermore. And I liked Evermore a bit more in this watch through than I did in the original and every time I've heard it since. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, okay, they have some stupid Beast modulation on top of his voice. But the, like, meaning of the song is very beautiful.
Yeah,
obviously.
the lyrics are pretty.
And then, as per usual, the mob song is the best song in the movie.
Oh, it's a bop. I think I wrote that down.
The mob song is incredible. Yeah. And then, obviously, the orchestration is very beautiful. The score is excellent because it's Alan Menken. He blows it out of the water every time. But, I can't deal. They took... Oh, and then, don't get me started on Be Our Guest. Be our guest.
Okay.
First of all, how on earth is it not as beautiful or entertaining as the animation? Be Our Guest in the animation, stunning. Your heart and breath is taken away by the animation.
Sure.
This one, I was like, okay, it's too much. Like, we all need to calm down. Like, I get we're putting on a show for her, but, like, I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't buy so much of it.
Yeah. What I will give this Be Our Guest version, you guys know, I'm a big, like, I need to understand what the heck you're saying. You know, I'm a big enunciation, big understanding.
Ewan McGregor does a great job. Ewan McGregor's a good singer. He's been in other things. He's been in Moulin Rouge. He's a good singer.
Yes, I could understand lyrics that I never could have understood in the original with this rendition.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, and that like got
me more... Sorry,
Jerry
Orbach. Love you.
Yes, time and place, you know.
Yeah.
But like this version, like I felt like yes, that like the original is way more like in your face, like exciting, like engaging. But I was into the vocal performance and hearing the lyrics in this version.
I also think the gag of her not being able to actually eat any of the food was a cute little like moment. That's fine. Mm-hmm. I could have taken her leaving that, but it was fine. Yeah. Like I wasn't mad that was a little gag going on. It was cute. Mm-hmm. Anything about the music? Anything else? I didn't care that they added the little Maurice. When does a moment? Me.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad about that part.
Right.
Again, unnecessary.
Yeah.
I feel like they had the goal, like, we want to make it at least 2 hours and 15 minutes, and so they figured out a way to add in all the
they originally were going to do the entire Broadway musical, so they're like, well, if we're going to not do any Broadway musical songs, we got to at least add more songs, because there's only 5 songs in the original movie.
The sequence of Gaston was really, really fun. Like, I liked when it,
100%.
Broke it down, and they did, like, a stomp clap situation.
Yeah, super fun.
And I think during that sequence... like, that's where the costumes, like, really stood out to me. Just seeing the variations in the villagers and...
I also love the gag of LeFou paying everyone to join.
Yes.
That really helps sell the whole, like, maybe not everyone's as into Gaston as we think, but LeFou's, like, feeding his ego.
Yeah.
Like, that was good.
Yeah, I think, all of that was really, really good.
Yeah.
That sequence really stood out to me. And Emma Thompson singing, Beauty and the Beast, that song, like, I think she...
Emma Thompson, sure.
Thompson, sorry, what did I say?
You said Emma Thompson. I was confused because I thought you meant Watson, and then I realized you meant Emma
Mrs.
Thompson.
Potts, yeah.
Yes.
Like, I thought she did that really well, too.
She's also...
That's a whole other sequence that...
Yeah. We'll get
Yikes
there.
Town. But...
Yeah, no, she
other than that, like, definitely.
Yeah, no qualms. My favorite line in this movie is... When I enter a room, laughter dies. It's my favorite addition to this movie. I'm like, okay, you actually got me.
Yeah.
I died laughing. I thought that was so fun.
Yes, okay, so I think I kept going back and forth on writing, right? Because, like, obviously, like, I take notes, right? And, like, I know generally the structure of how Jess does the video, so I had writing on the brain, right? Mm-hmm. So there are instances where I'm like, oh, wow, that's a really good line. That's a really good line. That's a really good line. But then there's other parts that I'm just like, really? Like, that's the best you got? That's the best piece of dialogue that you could come up with in this moment? I think there was one. I'm trying to think. I wrote down a moment. Oh. This moment, it's like at the end, it's like at the, like, one, like, the climax, right? And Bella's confronting Gaston. I think it's when they're in the town square and she, like, Maurice is locked up or whatever. And she shows the beast on the mirror. And she's like, or Gaston's like, oh, it's a monster or whatever. And she's like, he's not the monster. You are. I'm like, you guys. I'm like, you took a step down. Like, my ranking for writing was like a roller coaster. There were some moments, like, when Emma Watson, like, when she first sees Maurice in the prison, and Beast is like, you have to stay forever, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think she said something like, forever can spare a moment.
Well, my favorite bar in that is, Yeah, no, that is it's Forever Can Spare a Minute.
Yes, and I was like, okay.
Aubrey and I both went bars.
Yeah.
We were like, Forever Can Spare a Minute, damn.
Yeah.
Good line.
Yes, but then it's like, you're not the monster, like, he's not the monster, you. I'm like, I think that kind of plays into, like, directing style, too. Like, some of the delivery of the lines sort of took me out of it, too. So I feel like it's kind of a combo deal here. But, yeah, I kept going back and forth on the writing. Hardcore. Because there was, like, definitely some good one-liners.
Yeah.
And I think Cogsworth and Lumiere had some really good zinger moments, too. But, like, there was some that I'm just like, no, guys. No.
My biggest takeaway from this movie is they try too hard.
Yeah.
They try way too hard. And then the second one is I kept trying to find the right words for this, and then Aubrey read a Letterboxd review that I was like, that is perfect. It was something along the line for a movie that's message is, it's not what you look like that matters, it's what's on the inside that counts. They cared very much what they looked like with this movie. Like, they cared very much what the movie looked like. They cared very much with the image.
Yeah.
And, like, all of it. And, like, it was too much. It was too performative. The whole, like, I'll never forget the press for this movie being like, Emma Watson being like, we made Belle an inventor. And then her being an inventor isn't essential to the story at all. They just did that for feminism. And then the whole big deal about Emma Watson not wearing a corset. She refused to wear a corset. And everyone's like, Emma Watson's a feminist. Which is true. Emma Watson is a feminist. But women can wear corsets. Men can wear corsets. Non-binary people can wear corsets. Corsets are an
You can
item
wear a corset.
Clothing. They are beautiful. And at the time, they were accurate. And, like, people reamed Lily James for wearing a corset in Cinderella. When it's like, first of all, it wasn't Lily James's choice. That was her first big movie. Of course she's gonna say yes. And, like, there's nothing wrong with wearing a corset. Right. What's wrong is when people try to say, oh, Lily James isn't wearing a corset and her waist is 18 inches and giving an unrealistic beauty standard. It's not wrong to say, like, oh, yeah, she's wearing a corset because, like, that's what we called for in the movie.
Right.
That's fine. That's not a realistic waist. Her waist doesn't look like that unless it's in a corset. And then, like, shaming women or anyone for wearing a corset, being not feminist, is this is where we jump into, like, I compare it to them, like, being like, Belle's an inventor and she didn't wear corsets and, like, she's strong and active in this one, which, like, Belle is active and strong in the first one.
Yeah.
It reminds me, it's like a baby Rachel Ziegler with Snow White. Because it's like Rachel Ziegler with Snow White, it's that on steroids, where she was like, I'm not a damsel, she doesn't care about the prince, how she was like crapping on the original Snow White, and it completely backfired on her. This was like the beginning of that, where they're like, oh yeah, we made Belle an inventor. That drove me crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay, make Belle an inventor, but make it important if you're gonna do it. All she did with the inventing was you saw her sketch a little thing and know what to give her father, which, like, she could have just known what to give her father because she's watched him her whole life.
Right.
But then she made that freaking washing machine, never comes up again until she gives her dad a bobby pin to pick a lock.
Right.
Never comes up again. I was so mad. I was like, what's the point? Like, just because, look, she's already smart, she reads books, no one else in the town can read books, she doesn't gotta be an inventor. And then the whole not corset thing, I don't care. Yeah, not essential to her. I didn't think Belle wore corsets anyway. Like, I don't know why that was made a big deal. She was wearing, like, a normal, like, freaking Wizard of Oz dress. Yeah. Like, what do we... And then when she gets in the ball gown...
Don't even learn a ball gown.
Oh, my God. But I'm just, like, I'm so livid because they focused so much on, like, feminism. And then, like, did nothing with it.
Yeah.
And then, like, made it such a big deal. And then the movie feels so fake and disingenuous because that's what they tried for, instead of building the relationship between Beast and Belle, which is the most important part. And the stuff they tried to do to build a relationship with Beast and Belle, like him taking her to Paris, which, like, he didn't technically would have been able to, like, that's all because the Enchantress gave him this freaking book, which, by the way, isn't in the first one. So, like, okay, fine, let's add a whole little... Sorry, I'm swearing. Take a book to freaking Paris so they can have this moment together, which isn't even a moment for her and Beast. It's a moment for her and her father.
Yes.
Which, like, is a way better developed relationship than her and the Beast. And then her and the Beast, I'm freaking out. But I'm just crashing out about Beauty and the Beast because it's so bad. Like, I don't understand what was going through their head when they were like, you know what's really gonna sell them? Like, I would have cared more about Beast's backstory.
Yeah.
Like, have both of them, you're so excited, have both of them learn about each other's background, so, I don't know, it's convincing that they're falling in love with each other?
Yeah.
Like,
so
I get that, like, he's giving her these things that she's never experienced before, which is super exciting, like, giving her the library, and being educated like she is, so he can talk about these things that she's always wanted to talk about, and, like, taking her to Paris so she can learn what happened with her mother. Like, that's all really beautiful, but it feels so freaking fake.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm crashing out. I'm crashing out. And then, I think Gaston and LeFou are the best part of this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Gaston's sequence that you talked about, absolutely incredible. So entertaining. I think Luke Evans steals this film through and through. Josh Gad is great, obviously, but I really think Luke Evans is the standout here. He is a perfect Gaston. He is so good. His, like, entire essence of Gaston is what makes this movie have good parts.
Yes, I agree. Like, he made Gaston really evil. Like, more evil than the original was. Like, the things that he was talking about, like, the girls, like, and being like, oh, well, the hard one. I forget what he says exactly, but, like, essentially, like, why would I get an easy girl? You know, I want a, like...
I want a hard-to-get girl.
Yeah, hard-to-get girl and stuff like that. And then just, like...
how he talks to her and is like, you'll be an old maid if you don't marry me.
Yeah. Like, just...
the lying about Maurice and, like, convincing LeFou, like, leaving Maurice to die in the woods.
Yeah!
Like, he full sent, and then I'm really happy they didn't get him cursed. I'm glad he died the way he dies in the movie, because we don't have villain deaths anymore, and we need them. The freaking ballroom scene. Talk about how disappointing her dress is.
It's like Party City.
Like, to go from Cinderella's ball gown, which everyone talks about still to this day, to that absolute garbage. It's supposed to be gold, by the way. Like, it's technically like a goldish yellow, and that is just an atrocious town dress. I don't know what they were thinking.
I keep thinking about, and maybe you could throw, I'm throwing out editing things to you, but what I kept thinking about was that Barbie doll that they came out with. Have you seen that? I'll send me the picture. But that's what I'm like, well, they captured the essence of this dress and how, like, perfectly, because it was trash. Like, I know they were trying to do Cinderella things with, like, oh yeah, one last touch, and, like, they got, like, the gold coming from the ceiling or whatever to, like, imprint on the dress.
What the heck was that, by the way?
But I'm like, okay, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig.
Being clear, Emma Watson is gorgeous.
Sorry,
the dress was atrocious.
Please don't come at me.
Her finale dress is way better.
Oh my god.
The one she dances in at the end, stunning. Stunning dress.
Yeah. 100%.
Her ballroom dress, how underwhelming. Oh my god. Literally, all the gold starts to come off, you're like, oh, interesting, what's happening? And then it lands on that dress and you go, oh, ew. Like, it's so... And then that whole dance sequence, in the animation, obviously, it feels so magical and so special. You're like, how exciting. And then, in this one, you're just like, okay. Like, at least me.
Yeah.
And the whole... the new and a bit alarming.
Yeah, I died.
Like, I get it, but that, I feel like kind of highlights that he's an animal a little bit more, and maybe we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I just, like, I don't know how, because in the original one, I'm very on board when she's like, no, I love you. I'm like, yes, girl. Me too. He's great. But in this one, she's like, don't leave. I love you. And I'm like, do you?
Yeah. Right?
I don't know if I believe it.
I didn't buy it.
Which is crazy, because, like, I believed that Ariel and Eric were in love within the first, like, 15 minutes of that freaking movie when it came out. You're like, yes. So maybe it was, like, Dan Stevens and Emma Watson's chemistry wasn't good. I don't know what the problem was. But by the end of this movie, I was like, yeah, okay, I guess. I guess you're in love because you, like, showed each other some new stuff.
Yeah.
She showed the Beast how to have empathy, and he showed her books. Obviously not. But, like... Also, I don't know how it feels plotless, right? Like, it feels like nothing happens in this movie. Like, I don't understand how that's possible.
Yeah, and I didn't leave or finish that movie feeling satisfied.
100%.
I was just like, okay, well, that was, 2.5 hours.
Unless we discuss the growl.
At the very end.
I can't do the growl. I remember watching that movie in theaters, being already, like, kind of mad, and then he growled when she said, how would you feel about growing a beard? Which is already gross. But then he growled a real beast growl, and I went... We left that movie theater and went to the bathroom. We were on the movie so hard, and the lady came out of the bathroom and was like, you guys didn't like that. We were like, the growl? Are you kidding me?
Like, I think it would be different if he was like, rawr. You know, like, as a human. You know?
I think any growl is a little too far, but just a normal, like, human growl, a little bit more accepting. What I think should have happened was if she said, how do you feel, which she shouldn't have said, how do you feel about growing a beard? That's icky. Yeah, but, like, how do you feel about growing a beard? I think it would have been funny if he just started busted out laughing. Like, it would have been so endearing if he was just like, ah! Like, he's like, oh my god! Like, that would have been so good, but no, he growls it! It's so embarrassing. Like, I want to keel over and pass away. It's so embarrassing. My heart, I can't take the cringe embarrassment. I'm like, please stop.
Yeah, secondhand embarrassment was real.
I also have problems, sorry. I also have problems with, if time stood still in the castle, how much did these people in the village age that, like, Mrs. Potts is reuniting with Mr. Potts?
Yeah!
I'm like, did they keep aging? How old was Chip when he got turned into a freaking cup?
Right, because he looks old. Mr. Potts looks old.
Yeah, but I'm like, so were they, like, living all their lives for 10 years, forgetting about... Like,
right.
So I'm not entirely convinced about the timelines here.
Can't me neither.
Wow, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about the plot? I took over. I'm so sorry. I'm so
here for it.
About this.
I'm here for it. I was just like, yep. I agree.
Are you same page, eh?
Huh?
Are you same page? Like, do you agree with me?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was so curious to see how you're going to feel about this movie.
Here's my thing, though. I do feel like there was a little bit of an improvement on the relationship arch of, like, Beauty and the Beast, right? Like, I do feel like there was some, like, they tried, but they tried too hard, but they did try, and I feel like that was, like, a step forward from the original. But I don't think it was...
what they tried wasn't effective, is, like, what I'm trying to say.
Meanwhile, you got frickin' Prince Eric and Ariel in the most recent live act... don't even... Can I please be on that one? I
totally
stan that movie.
I can't. I'll cry thinking about it. I can't.
It's so
Wait till we get there. Wait till we get there.
So good. It's so good. But anyway, like, you look at that.
Cinderella, Lily James and Richard Madden's chemistry is insane. That first scene where they meet and, you know, she's like, you will leave him alone though, won't you? Like, as they're partying, and he goes, I will. And you're like, oh my god, I'm swooning for their chemistry. I'm gonna die. I'm gagged. I'm throwing up.
Do you think it was impacted by the fact, like, because I've seen, like, behind the scenes, like, clips and images of Dan Stevens on the stilts, and he's got all the little modulars. Like, do you think that it was impacted, or do you think it was, like, from the get-go, Emma Watson and them just didn't have the right chemistry?
Okay. Chemistry can transcend. So I do think there is not enough chemistry between Dan and Emma. There's some there.
Sure.
Like, when they're quipping.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more, like, visible. But in the hard moments, it's not there. Because even in the, like, hating moments, there can be really good chemistry. So, but, like, also, Hallie and Jonah in Prince Eric and Ariel, she was, like, there were multiple times she had, like, the fake stuff for the tail, and, like,
True.
They were on a giant blue screen, they have nothing to see, and their chemistry's freaking insane.
True.
So I really think, you know, it just comes down to a lot of factors.
Yeah.
You know, their material, I think, was hard.
Yep.
I think the director maybe didn't direct them in the best way.
Sure.
And then they might have not had, like, chemistry that jumps off the screen like Jonah and Hallie do. Jonah and Hallie's chemistry is, like, off the charts. Off the charts! So it makes me wonder, like, because Emma was the choice from the beginning, did they even do chemistry tests?
Right.
Like, did they do chemistry? Because they do chemistry tests.
Oh, yeah,
because some people just have, like, a natural chemistry, and then others you just marry together and hope there's some kind of chemistry.
Right.
Which, they're actors. They can make stuff happen, and I think they do. I just think some of it is just so forced.
Yeah.
Like, Belle saying, like, oh, so we're making jokes now, is, like, at its heart, a very cute moment. But at the same time, I feel like we just jump from, like, she is a prisoner to we're kind of getting chummy really quickly. Mm-hmm. And this movie could have had this opportunity to show me, like, him trying to earn her trust differently than just, like, come read these books. I know he saves her from the wolves, right? Like, that's a really big moment, but, like, she's technically still his prisoner, which I know I harp on a lot of the time. So I do really love that she says, can anyone be truly happy if they aren't free?
Yeah.
I love that she does that. I love that addition. I think that's fantastic. And I love that he is like, you know, I love her, so I let her go. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That's really important. I think that's great that they added that. That's huge. But I don't know. I think it struggles in the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because that moment where she's like, oh, so we're telling jokes now, that could have been so good. And been like, oh, tea. Mm-hmm. Like, I could have been like, ooh. But it just feels very, like, not.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, like, Emma Watson, because she was Hermione, like, she had to do a lot of acting with nothing, too. You know, like, she had to, like...
She's a pro.
Like, yeah, like, and, like, react to nothing to react to. So, like, I feel like it was definitely more of a chemistry play.
Yeah, because it's not like she's awkward because it's all digital.
Right.
No shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think chemistry is a huge part of it. Direction, I think, is a huge part of it.
Yep.
And just, like, the source material that they're going off of, not the movie, but, like, their script, they're going off of, just wasn't in the right places.
Yep.
Like, the things they were giving us at at certain times should have happened at different times.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
I don't know. I could go on and on, apparently. My God. Belle's mom.
But they didn't say, like, she for sure died. But we could assume that she died.
Well, it was shown on screen. She basically died of the plague.
Yeah.
And then they kept talking about her in the was past tense.
And same with Beast's mom. No, Dad. Mom.
Beast's mom. They showed Beast's mom dying on screen.
Which going back to the connection piece, they really could have bonded over that. They really, 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 really
That's what I'm saying. There was so much there. They could have had them, like, build little, like, oh, wait, okay, maybe we're not so different after all moments. Yeah. And they just didn't do it.
Right. Because, like,
they're like, oh, she's strong and likes books.
Yeah. Cogsworth, like, dreading the reuniting with his wife or whatever.
I
didn't love that either. Like, how he was like, turn me back into a clock. Turn me back into a clock.
Yeah,
like
that
I felt like that was unnecessary to me. It really, like, ruined my perception of Cogsworth
100%.
In that moment.
100%.
It left the bad taste in my mouth. But
totally.
everything else that Cogsworth did.
Yeah. He was funny. I liked every time he would pull out his sword after the action was done. It was like, oh! Screw the auto-tune.
Right.
The auto-tone, the whatever you want to call it, so bad.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Biggest crime. Favorite part?
Gaston.
Me too! That's what I wrote! Gaston! That's my favorite part. He's the best part.
Yes.
He's so good.
And that sequence.
The mob song sequence? Or Gaston, the song
sequence.
Yeah.
Gaston is a human.
I'm always a little taken aback that they changed some verses.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still such a fun sequence. It's so well done.
Yes.
The multiple gags going on. The dance break felt very musical.
Yes.
Which is super fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I'm with you.
Choreography, like, all of that, too.
I remember first time I saw it in the theater, I died laughing at I realized I'm illiterate. And I've spelled it out before. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. I do love him just giving up in the original, but no, that was funny. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, least favorite part?
Beast's voice.
Oh, okay. Mine's the growl.
Oh. Yeah.
Worst part.
Fair.
By far and away.
Fair. Also, honorable mention is Cogsworth at the end.
Yeah, that's bad.
Saying that he wants to be turned back.
Takes away all the stuff.
Yes.
You just, learned and loved.
Yes.
Yeah. Recommend?
Wow, this is hard for me. I'm gonna say... You know what's funny is, I recommended Lion Guard if you're, interested in all that. I don't know if I would recommend this one.
Damn, T. I put sure. Because, if you're a diehard Beauty and the Beast lover, I feel like you might like it just because it's more Beauty and the Beast content. Because I know how that goes. I know, I'll watch any trash Cinderella movie that has nothing to do with Disney and be like, well, I'm going to watch it because it's Cinderella themed.
Right.
I might not like it, but I'm going to watch it. So
yeah.
I feel like in that way I might recommend it, but otherwise, if you're hoping for a beautiful live action masterpiece, don't.
Right. I think that's my thing. Is if you come to me and you're like, hey, what's your recommendation on Disney live action remakes? This is not going to be on that list. It's going to be
not for me.
Number one, Little Mermaid. Number 2, Aladdin, and then anything else your heart desires.
Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Pete's
Dragon.
Dragon,
That's true.
Aladdin.
Cinderella.
Pete's Dragon's good.
Yeah, no. So looking at it from that standpoint, I would say no. But sure, if you
I'd
love
even put
Beauty and the
Jungle
Beast-
Book above this.
Oh wait, you'd put it above it?
Jungle Book live action, I would say it's better than this.
What about Lion King?
No, I'd put this above the Lion King remake. Although remake, by the way.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd have to watch it again, I suppose. I do remember really loving the the Be Our Guest moment in that movie with Timon.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but I have to rewatch it. I've only seen it the one time in theater.
Yeah,
but
same.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's Cinderella's peak for me. So Cinderella, and then Little Mermaid.
I haven't seen Cinderella in a long time, so I think
I know. And
I know.
then Pete's Dragon is so good. I know it's not technically the first one is live action, so I don't know how we feel about that. And then what I just say, Aladdin. After that, Aladdin's good. It's got some moments, but it's good for this.
Yeah,
we'll get there. Watch again. Probably not. I really don't feel like seeing this ever again. I'm good. Specific moments. I think we've already talked about all the ones I saved for the end here because I went on my whole rant. Oh no, Justice for all the Broadway songs.
Yeah.
Because the Broadway musical is incredible. It is so good. And If I Can't Love Her or Have Her or whatever the name of the Beast song is, and that one is way better than Evermore.
Yep. One other little thing that I did really enjoy is the wardrobe and the
piano.
The piano.
Harpsichord.
And they're what?
Harpsichord? Whatever.
Sure.
The piano instrument.
Yeah, they're in the moment, and they're inanimate objects, and they're all they want to do is be together. I thought that was a nice little ditty thing.
Yeah. Very cute, very cute. Yeah, I've got nothing else.
Yeah, no,
we touched on everything else because we're on a rampage.
I love it. I was here for it.
All right, what's your final rating?
Ooh, okay.
And what are we doing it out of?
Ooh,
I feel like we have to do roses.
Yeah, roses or books or.
I feel like it's got to be Enchanted Roses.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna give it 6 roses out of 10.
My final rating is also 6 roses out of 10.
We love when we align.
Our total movie count is... Our parent total is... Cry count is still the same, because no thanks. I might cry out of frustration. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials to find out what movie I'm watching when. Follow Audrey. Go check out their vlogs over there.
Yes, thank you.
Give them a little watcheroo. And do you still have your X account?
Yeah, I do, but I don't really go on there anymore because of recent
events. Yikers, we don't support that.
But if you want to pop on and say hi, I will probably say hi back.
And then... Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1 every week early. Tiers with truly monthly postcards and bonus content. And you can get your name in the video in the description. Whee! Buy merch.
Heck yeah.
Merch is great.
Yes, it is.
All right, until next time, come subscribe. I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you. And don't be. Guess
something about it.
Amelia Mionette Thermopolis Rinaldi,
Princess.
Although
of
now
Genoa.
queen.
Yeah, true.